Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye Podcast. It is episode 71, and yes, we have plenty and plenty to talk about. We'll be breaking down America's two-leg match against Cruz Azul in the Clásico Joven. We'll talk about the upcoming match with America and León and all the drama that has just unfolded within the past 24 hours, even less than 24 hours, actually. And we got a little bit of L3 news as well, breaking down the Gold Cup preliminary roster. So we got plenty and plenty to talk about. But before I get any further into the episode, as always, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Christian Rosendo, and everyone's favorite cowboy, Dan Dillon. How are you guys all doing?
Pretty swell. Yeah, I'm pretty good right now.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm looking forward to what's to come for the summer.
For what's to come in the summer, elaborate.
Everything.
Are we
That
are
is
we are
not
we
enough.
meeting up? Is that why? Is that what you're excited, Dylan?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Actually, I will be making my way down to Dallas, Texas within what 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now.
I think so.
So that's exciting. The co-host and the host will meet for the first time. But we got plenty to talk about besides our own personal lives here. We got America to break down for about a whole hour that we'll be talking about Las Águilas. And, well, let's face it, let's call it for what it is, a terrible, terrible showcasing what was displayed in both Thursdays and Sundays leg match against Cruz Azul. So, gentlemen, I know we had somewhat of a heated debate over text message when the game was over, and also leading up to Sunday's game, we had kind of an idea of what we had America playing as, or what we wanted them to do. And well, let's be honest, none of our predictions came true whatsoever. So let's talk about exactly what went wrong and the little things that America did right in the first game. So we'll break down Thursday's match, talk about Sunday's terrible performance and why America is even lucky to be in a semifinal, and then we'll break down and preview the upcoming game against Leon, in which, yes, a lot has spilled over onto Twitter and other media platforms because the game was scheduled to be played tomorrow, but unfortunately, due to weather conditions, more like air pollution in Mexico City, have made it so that this game has been is going to be played on Thursday. So, gentlemen, let's get started. Uh, let's get going with America's first game against Cruz Azul in the Clásico Joven in the Liga Thursday night at the Estadio Azteca. Of course, we were quote unquote the home team in that matchup. And, well, let's talk about the first opening minutes.
Oh yeah. hmm
I don't
Woo!
think America looked
Woo!
that good. I think Cruz Azul came out, they came to play. And the only reason Cruz Azul didn't continue to match that type of play was, I think, is because they saw a player like Orbelin Pineda come out injured. And that really kind of diminished their confidence. And I think America just took advantage after that.
hmm Yeah, like you said, Cruz Azul literally from the minute the whistle blew, they came out guns blazing, and literally in the first 40 seconds they had a clear shot at putting one on the board, but thankfully we had the goat Marchesin in net to prevent that from happening, and a little bit controversy afterwards. But I don't know if you want to get into that.
No, because it could have been both ways. I think Marchesin did enough to get the ball first, and then the player comes crashing.
hmm
Um, but I mean, right away you felt America's was unnervy,
Yeah.
and you didn't see this team completely the way you wanted to. Dylan, what was your takes in the first opening minutes? Because I think you'd have to at least agree in the fact that America again starts this game very lackluster, and maybe to a bit of good fortune on their behalf, find themselves a Cruz Azul who maybe lack confidence after seeing Orbelin Pineda come out injured.
No, I don't. I don't. I mean, yeah, you're right. The way Cruz Azul came out and started to play, those opening minutes, that's something that we've always talked about and wanted America to come out and do. And obviously, it was the opposite. It was Cruz Azul that came out and took the game to us, and we were on the ropes. And obviously, like you said, the opening minutes on the ropes very bad. We were about to fall over off the ring. Which other than that, over the lean injury, I figured like once we get into it more, I'll kind of explain to another mentality factor that kind of played into Cruz Azul's slow, starting to get away from the game, and they just slowly lost it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, we'll talk a little bit more about America's mistakes. Definitely come the Sunday game, but I want to focus just a little bit on what America did good. I think after the injury, America notices that Cruz Azul is impressing. I think America realizes that they have the ball more and they start moving it around. Not very well, but they do start gaining a little bit more possession. I'm looking at the stats of that first game, and America had a total of 11 shots in comparison to Cruz Azul's 12. Although America had 4 shots on target, Cruz Azul only had 2. So, I mean, in that department, at least we looked a little bit better. But possession wise, Cruz Azul just was a little bit better than America, 57% for them, 43 for us. They definitely passed the ball a lot more with 383 passes in comparison to our 289. Um, and like I can get a little bit more nitty gritty with it, but I mean, up to that first goal, where America finds themselves against the ropes after that PK,
Hmm.
it was kind of worrisome to see that I had a feeling that maybe this team was not going to react, and quite fortunately, I want to say that own goal comes a bit lucky for us.
Yeah, you can say lucky because it was an own goal. I mean, what own goal isn't lucky, in my opinion? But I think you said it perfectly. When the penalty was converted by Caraglio, in my mind, I was like, "Wow, this is gonna be the one. Are we really not gonna be able to, get past this round and defeat Cruz Azul?" But like you said, though, I think that own goal literally changes everything for us. But in this game only, though, not in the second leg, because that's a whole different story. But in this game, that own goal literally changed the whole outcome of the entire game.
Yeah, it definitely sprung America back to life, and it started showcasing America for the best things possible. Now let's talk about that not that own goal, that penalty that Cruz Azul was awarded. I think
Hmm.
it's a big impact on the game itself and on the player that commits the penalty, George Sanchez.
Yeah.
I think that action alone plagues him for the rest of the series in regards to the second leg as well, because he had a terrible night on Sunday,
Hmm.
one of his most poor nights in an America jersey in quite some time. So let's talk about it. So the ball gets whipped in. It looks like it's already going past everyone's head. George Sanchez tries to go for it, knows that he's not gonna get there, and puts his arm out and extends it to the point where it makes contact. It's a penalty. There was a lot of doubts, and there was a lot of doubt. I think it wasn't until like maybe the second half that we were completely sure that it was a penalty.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, what's your guys' take on George Sanchez doing such? Let's call it for what it is, such a stupid way to challenge the ball.
For me, it's surprising. I thought it was surprising that a player of such young and composed as we've seen him throughout the season commit something like that in Liga. I mean, he's been in Liga before. He's been tested before in this stage. So it was surprising to me for him to actually commit such a stupid mistake.
Dylan, what's your take on this? Because I know you call me out for having a vendetta against George Sanchez, but it's these little nitpicky moments that I've always questioned about him and always had little things against him. Well, is there a way to defend him, or what was your take on it?
Look, I even said it, after the game to y'all, to some extent, because I'm not disagreeing with nobody here. It is a stupid mistake, and it's something that he should have known. He's been in this position for, but to some extent, I will somewhat defend him because at the end of the day, uh, you know, it's just you got to be more careful when you jump because I mean, if I'm gonna be completely honest here, it's just it's more ball watching than anything, which is more dumb. I feel like he didn't know where his player was on the backside. But at the end of the day, I feel like if he wouldn't have jumped and say said player got to it, then everybody would have complained why didn't he jump? So I mean, at the end of the day, I do get it. I'm not disagreeing with anybody here or anybody in the chat that it was a stupid mistake. What was he thinking? But at the end of the day, if he wouldn't have jumped and something else came about it, then I feel like we would have still been having this discussion. So it's just you see athletes jump, they use their arms a lot, and it's just a bad way of how he used his arms to jump in the air to try to challenge for this ball. But to some extent, I do get it, but I don't necessarily defend him all the way.
Okay. Okay, and we'll come back to George Sanchez too because I think he just could not handle that left hand side on Sunday. But like I said, we'll get back to him in just a little bit. Let's move. Let's progress into the match so we don't delay kind of this any further because I think a lot of people want to start talking about the long game as well. Um, you move forward, like we said, pretty lucky to get that own goal. But great work by Bruno Valdez to jump as high as he did and to knock the ball into the right direction. And then after that, I think, like I mentioned, you see America come out and play a better game. They move the ball around. They have a better possession. They kind of knock Cruz Azul kind of off their horse. I think Cruz Azul was riding high after that penalty. They kind of were like, on cloud nine. And then for America to come back so quickly and equalize, because I think there's only what a yeah, there's 6 minutes that separate each goal, you know. So for America to respond in such a quick manner, I think Cruz Azul kind of is a bit baffled by it, and then from then on, doesn't really know how to cope with it, and then from there, America builds on it. And I think the most important part, I think what set this game apart for America was that late goal that Roger Martinez scores, and to make it 2-1 before the half.
Right. I just want to track back a little bit. When we scored, well, when they scored the own goal. Um, I remember the last podcast we made. Well, I made this whole concept of the mental game and how it was gonna play into this series, especially with these two teams. I think we're all in agreement that before that own goal happened, Cruz Azul was the much better team. Or do we all agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So when the own goal happens, it's 1-1, and now in the back of their mind, they're saying, "Oh my God, is this really about to happen again? Are we not going to be able to beat them again?" Honestly, I think that own goal really messed with their
Yeah.
mentality of the game, and that is also a big, big reason why America started playing the way they did, because they kind of knew that Brazil players were gonna be like kind of worried and paranoid about the outcome, because they've been in this position before, and all the memes and everything that's about to happen to them if they lose this game. So honestly, the mental game and specifically in this first leg played a huge part in my opinion. And it all started with that own goal.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with you. And
And even more so when Roger scored a goal before halftime. Like, that's the worst time to concede a goal is, before halftime.
yeah, and that's exactly what my point was going at is that, once America scores that, I think you see Cruz Azul isn't able to kind of jump back into it and get back into the game. They had maybe an opportunity here or there, they were creating, but nothing really concrete. And America as well, I think we said, no, I think you said it, Christian, that one of the players that needed to have their best game was definitely going to be Renato Ibarra. And I
Mm-hmm.
think for the first leg was completely dominant, had completely all over the place. You
Yeah.
saw what his speed, what he was capable of doing whenever he got space, and
Mm-hmm.
even in tight areas, he was able to create something out of nothing at times.
Yeah.
So I think there were some players that definitely shined bright within the first match, and then there was definitely, I think, the whole squad let us down in the second game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, 100% agree.
Alrighty. Well, so then, yeah, so we get that second goal before the end of the second half. How do you guys feel going into it? You know, halftime is here. How do you guys approach this game, or how do you guys feel about it?
We need more goals.
Yeah.
We have them on the ropes. This is the time to, kind of unleash everything. And I honestly thought we could have probably ended this game either 4-1 or 5-1.
Yeah, I see it the same way too. I mean, you because like we stated in the beginning, Cruz Azul brought the game to you. They turned the things got turned around. The tables got turned, especially with the that own goal that we were talking about, because that own goal really played that factor in the game, like Christian was saying, and especially the Rogers goal right before halftime. That was it. Like they were on the ropes. We turned it right back on around them. I mean, you had to keep going. You had to go go go. I mean, Uh, there's no excuse really. I mean, you had to just keep going.
And I agree. And I think that's something I talked about is that look, you have the first leg kind of to your advantage, even though I guess technically in both games you're at home, you're not really traveling. At at what point do you need to realize that a substantial goal margin is important? And I think this is something that America didn't realize because look, you get your third goal in the 74th minute of the match. So from that's 45 minus 70, so that's almost 30 minutes that have passed by
Hmm.
in total, and you barely were able to put one in the back of the net. And
Right.
this is not to say that Cruz Azul were defending amazingly. This is to say that you were not just taking your chances properly. There was times in which you were making the wrong pass. There was times where you're making wrong decisions, and even in the second game, in which the game was completely wide open for America to take this Cruz Azul side to the cleaners and completely dominate them on a counterattack, never worked because you weren't sufficient and you weren't executing your passes properly. And that is something that we have criticized time and time and time again, that America, the most simplest thing that we've asked for them to do and that everyone criticizes them for is the fact that their passing has just not been precise. I'm looking at this and it's just it's baffling to say the least.
That's kind of been like our Achilles heel this whole season, the lack of creativity, and we thought we found it when Benedetti arrived, and unfortunately he isn't able to be with us in Ligia, but
I was like, careful how you word that because last time you made it sound like he was
he was,
he
he
was
was dead or
bad.
something. Oh, he's not here due to injury. Okay, he's not. He hasn't passed. He's not here because due to injury. But we're really missing a player like that because honestly, when you slot there and you put in that position, a Roger Martinez or something, he's not gonna create those chances for you. Granted, he had a fantastic first game. We all can agree on that. But he went ghost in the second game, and where was that when we needed him? You have Mateo Uribe, someone who has been underperforming this whole season, yet he's still starting. He's not gonna provide that for you, and it's very unlikely that he's gonna provide that in the next leg against Leon. So it's kind of worrisome that your only creative chances comes from Renato Ibarra, and when you pass to Ibarra in some sense, because you never pass to Ibarra either way, so you're never gonna get anything out of him.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
go
no,
Dylan, go.
no, but still, like it's just so frustrating because on paper we have such a stacked team. Like, let's be honest, like we do, but it's just so frustrating to see this team underperform time and time again. Like it's just frustrating, man.
Hmm.
Like, why, why can't we get the Uribe that we had 2 seasons ago? Why, wh- why aren't people just being consistent? Like, I understand, like, being consistent's tough. Like, week in, week out, being consistent can be tough. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, why? Like, like what the hell? Like, who needs to light a fire under you? Because it sure as hell ain't Piojo right now.
And that's the
Yeah,
worrisome part, right?
that's
Because
the worst.
it's something that we've at least have held Piojo kind of up to a standard of good lighting is the fact that he's able to rile up his players, he's able to get the best out of them in situations in which he needs them to come out on top. And if we're looking at this and if we're assessing these two legs, I think Piojo has failed in this match, and he is lucky, and this team is lucky to be moved into this next round.
I mean, you said it. Lucky. Lucky is the key word here. Like, how the hell did we get here? Like, I'm be dead honest. Be dead honest. If no if you want to sit there and tell me this is how we got here, that's fine. I'll listen to you and I'll probably agree with you. But at the end of the day, after watching that first half, after 2 minutes into the second half, scoring that goal, I just told myself this might be it. I said we're gonna mess it up, and I don't know what's gonna happen after that. But damn, were we so freaking lucky. I mean, I don't even know if we're talking about the second leg because I can go on about the second leg.
No, we're not
How
even there yet. I think you skipped that part.
I'm
No,
getting
and we'll
ahead.
get there. We'll get there because I do want to get to that point right now because that's the point. That's the part where we kind of have to gloss over and think, how does this game come and affect the match coming up ahead on Thursday? Because let me tell you something. Leon is a completely different team than this Cruz Azul side, and Cruz Azul will Cruz Azul, whilst yes, they are a good aside. Leon, I would dare to say is 2 times better than them.
I wouldn't say 2 times better. They're good. They're not. They're not 2 times better.
It's because they have something that both America and Cruz Azul don't have,
Which
and
is,
that's momentum.
you can say that.
That's momentum. They have momentum, and they have a good team mindset, and that's what's setting them apart. To be honest, that's literally what's setting them apart from America. I'm not even talking talent wise. I'm not even talking, man for man. They're much better than even Cruz Azul, let alone us. I'm saying that they have something that no team in this Liga has right now, and that's what's pushing them further, which can also be their Achilles heel, and we'll get to that once we get to the preview part of that part of the show. But we'll keep that in mind for when we get there. But to wrap up this first Cruz Azul game, America plays better. They should have had at least I want to say 2 more goals, and with 2 more goals, you would have killed the game off, and Cruz Azul would have had no reason to go out and try to attack you the way they attacked you in the second leg. You left this game very wide open. 2 goals, 3-1. I mean, you're talking about a 2-goal margin in which soccer is the most famous scoreline to be most scared of, because it's also one of the easiest ones to turn around in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
America should at least we should have had 1 more goal to
yeah,
settle the nerves.
and they should have known that, because in Liga MX we have this rule where, if you're tied on away goals and everything is tied, the team with the higher position, moves on. So they needed to know that going into Sunday as well. So one more goal, and for us, then it would have been remotely impossible for them to come back. But we couldn't do it. I honestly like this game a lot. Actually, I think after the 20th minute, or after we scored the own goal, they scored the own goal. I don't think Cruz Azul appeared in the match, and I think that was good from us, that we knew how to contain them. But I think, Ivan, you make a great point. They were missing, I guess, quote unquote, their star player in Orbelin Pineda, and he comes in. He comes to be a factor in the second leg.
Yeah, he's literally the fuel to their attacking, to their creativity, and we'll talk about that right now, because we're gonna get into the second leg of this match. I don't want to hinge on this any further, but I will say this though, something that you talked about, the Ibargüen situation. We got to play him a little bit more. The
You have to.
the guy can produce stuff. I'm not saying he's always going to produce, because there's times in which I don't know what
Oh
he tries
yeah,
to do,
no, 100%.
and and doesn't work
But
out. But I mean,
mhm,
look, Ibargüen alone made that Roger goal phenomenal.
here's
The second goal, not the second, the last goal, in which he literally fakes out 4 defenders and leaves a gap opening for him to pass into Roger, and then Roger, of course, slots it away.
yeah.
But I think, yes, we can't overwork Ranto Ibarra, because that's just an easy tactic. And look what happened in the second game. All they needed to do was put 2 to 3 players on him, and they shut down the attack. And I'm surprised that no one, I'm not even talking about Piojo, but no one on the pitch was able to change or maneuver something differently.
Yeah. I
How
don't
does that
know.
surprise you?
Because I thought you'd be smart enough, if you're a professional and you get paid the
But
money that you get paid, that you'd be
but
smart enough to say, okay.
but we've had this conversation, and the team don't adapt. The team won't adapt most of the time.
And that's always and that's gonna hinge us even further
Yeah,
if we can continue to play like this.
exactly. And I know you say, like, it shouldn't be on Piojo. It should be on players, but the players won't do it. Piojo won't do it, and that's the worrisome part.
I would just imagine, as a professional, you'd be smart enough, and especially someone in the midfield that's trying to orchestrate anything, the one kind of in charge of it. And granted, that was up to Mateus Uribe, who I don't think should even be starting in the next game, but we'll probably have to. It just, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we got to play our wingers, both of them, a little bit more with consistency. Because I mean, Ibarwen can do some great things if you give him the opportunity to. And when he gets the confidence, I mean, we see what he's capable of. We definitely see what he's capable of.
All I'm saying is, let's say you have 30, let's say just the number 30. You give 25 to Renato, only 5 to Ibargüen. Ibargüen can only dribble past, 2 or 3. or let's just say two. Ibrahim Diop has 2 out of the 5 that he's given. Obviously people are gonna say that he looks bad because he couldn't convert much, but you're not giving him much to work with. Then again, on Renato Ibarra's side, you give him 20, 25, and he converts, I don't know, 19 out of 25. That looks pretty good. So you got to give Ibargüen more, and then he'll be able to pick up the confidence and produce more for you. That's all I'm saying.
So the game goes 3-1, and you feel good about it. Obviously, there's still things that you kind of wish didn't go the way they did, and you expect America to get better at it. And then comes Sunday's matchup, and you could tell right away what Cruz Azul plan was. It was to high press, to go at America, force the mistake, and if it wasn't for the fact that Cruz Azul doesn't know how to put the ball in the back of the net, this game could have been completely different.
No, it
You
should have
could
been.
Just
It should have been different, no doubt.
it's
But
as
it
simple as
wasn't.
that.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, it wasn't. I mean, shoot. I mean, like Cruz still took like what, like 10 shots before they finally going on target though.
And you know what the worst part is, and I think that the part that frustrated me the most was the fact that there was no reaction from the players.
Exactly.
There was no sense of urgency. There was no sense. There was a lack of awareness at times from players from all over the pitch, from our own attackers to our own defenders. I'm looking at this second game, a total of 18 shots for Cruz Azul and a total of 7 from us. Right? They outdid us in shots, double. America had 1 shot on target. Cruz Azul
The
had
first
3.
half.
No, this is
No, no, no,
in
no, no. Overall, but
yeah,
but what I meant is like first half, like we barely got 1 shot off. That shot wasn't
exactly.
even on target. We don't even string. We don't even string 100 passes. Not even 100 attempts. 98 freaking attempts.
And it's and you and this goes back to what I was saying in the second game, that the one thing that we could consistently tell that America was lacking was pass efficiency. In a total match in which you made 207 passes, right? 207 passes in comparison to what you made in the first game, which was 289. So that's about 80 different passes that you're not making in this game. You you had a total of 59% passing accuracy. So you're telling me you barely got more than enough half of those passes correct. And that is what's shocking. And yes, America played terrible. Yes, Cruz Azul had us on the pressure. Yes, Cruz Azul had an abundance of chances. But if America could string at least 2-3 passes for a stretch of the game, Cruz Azul would have not have had as many chances as they did. We didn't retain the ball. Every time we got the ball cleared, we gave it right back to them. There was times where Marchesín would clear the ball and no one would go and get it and pressure it. It was just Cruz Azul getting the ball and okay, back to defending. Okay, it's just at what point do you think this is going to work? Yes, Cruz Azul is eventually going to have to out-tire themselves, outrun themselves, because you can't high press for the whole game. It's impossible. But it doesn't mean that just because you can defend means they're not going to score. The more chance you give them to come at you, the more likely they are to score. And America didn't process that or didn't get that through their heads. And then when they do score in the second half, you still don't see a reaction from America. You still don't see something better. The only reason America looks a little bit better in the second half is because Cruz Azul gets tired. And once Cruz Azul gets tired, America's like, okay, we can hold the ball now. We can control it. We can move it a little bit more because they're not pressing us as fast. Because let me tell you one thing, and if Leon is smart enough, they'll do this. The high press kills us so badly. And not because we don't know how to play against it. It's just because our players don't understand or have the mindset to say, okay, if you're gonna high press me, then literally we got to play the 1-2 quick passes, real simple, real fast. Don't overdo it. Don't try to do anything silly, tricky. Just play it out wide, run it down the line, and do what you got to do. And don't wait for them to come at you if you know that they're already gonna come. And the best part about it, when you're playing against a team that is high pressing, it is so easy to draw a foul. So easy to draw a foul. And if your game plan was to just completely waste time and run every minute down to the last second, then why was no one smart enough to get the ball, wait for the crash, wait for it, and get the foul? No one was able to do that. No one was smart enough to get that. It's a high press situation. The other team is coming at you full speed. Draw the foul. Draw the foul. Get the foul. Get on the floor. Kill the minutes. I'm not saying that's how America should play, and I'm not saying or justifying that America should ever play like that. But if you're gonna be playing this game, and if you're smart enough to be in the situation as a professional, know that if you're in the situation, be smart about it and draw the foul. And that's what I didn't see. I didn't see anything from America in the second half. I didn't see anything from America in the second, like to showcase or demonstrate to me that we are worthy of a bicampeonato. The mindset wasn't there. The players wasn't there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I'm just gonna go out here. Okay, listen. Everyone's probably gonna get mad at me right now. I think America played a pretty good 45 minutes in that second leg. I'm not saying that, well, let's just put it this way. America's up 3-1. And any competition level you want to put Liga MX, Champions League, any competition level you want to put it at, when the team is ahead in the second leg, it is almost guaranteed that the winning team is going to play defensively. And that was my mindset going into the second leg. America will definitely play defensively, yes. The only thing I didn't like is that they played defensively the whole 90 minutes. That's where I am in agreement with all of you guys. That America should have never played that defensive 90 minutes. 45 minutes, I'll allow. Because at 45 minutes, it was still 0-0, and they still needed 2 more goals. So at that point, I thought if Herrera was smart enough, which clearly he's not, it's 0-0, they have 45 minutes to score 2, and we can't score 1. So let's just float open the gates now. Let's play our game for 45 minutes. Let's get at least 1. And then, they're basically done to that. That's where I'm mad about. I'm not mad about playing defensive for 45 minutes because that's normally what a team should do. It's kind of, take a couple hits here and there. And thankfully, we know how to defend. And Marchesín is Marchesín. So we protected the 0-0 scoreline at 45 minutes. So I'm okay with that. It was a bit cardiac, yes, because they had a couple chances here and there. But it was still 0-0. So I was fine. What I wasn't fine, though, it was, the playing defensive for the next 45 minutes, and that's what really pissed me off. And that's where I wanted to see some reaction from the players, especially in the 3rd minute of the second half when they scored and we saw no reaction. Now that's when I'm agreeing with all of you and everything you guys just said. But for the first 45 minutes, I think America played pretty decent.
If America would have actually played good defensively, then I wouldn't be I wouldn't be up in arms about it. If we knew how to play the defensive game properly, then okay. I would have been okay with that. 45 minutes of soaking up the pressure
but we did
and
it,
trying to
though.
relieve it on the counter.
But we did it.
Yes, and we survived luckily. That
45 minutes. But that was it,
luckily.
though, right? So now
But-
in our mindset, now is the time. Okay, 45 minutes to go. Let's play our game. Let's go out and attack. We just need 1. That's all we really need. 1, and then they have to score 3 in 45 minutes, which seems really unlikely with the way things are going. Yeah, they might get 1 here. I doubt they'll get 3, but we get 2. They need 5. So let's go. Let's get attacked. But that's where I guess all the anger comes out in the second half when we want to see a goal or at least a reaction, and we just didn't get that. And I think that's where a lot of frustration comes from, in my opinion.
I think you have to look at this game as a whole, and frustration-wise, it's America being lucky, and that's the worst part. I hate coming on here and saying, yeah, look,
Lucky in the
America got
second half.
outplayed.
Lucky in the second half. Not the
Yeah.
whole game. Not the whole game.
Lucky the whole first half that we didn't concede.
Yeah, because we were playing defensively. We had to play defensive.
Yes, but that's not properly
that's
playing the
the
defensive
point.
game.
That's
We-
not the
we-
point. Why can't we go out and get at least 1 freaking goal in the first half? You have all your players on your side of half of the pitch, Nico and Roger. Like, god dang, why can't we go out and get 1 at least?
That probably wasn't the game plan.
Okay, if that's
knowing,
fine. That's okay.
Knowing Herrera, he was gonna play defensive. Yes or no? Any team that's up in the second leg plays defensive for at least the first 20 minutes just to get a couple blows out of there. Get their high pressure, high attack shots out of there.
I'm not questioning. I'm not debating that. I'm not saying that was right or that was wrong. I'm saying we did that poorly, because if you're gonna play defensively, then why on earth do you keep giving the ball away? We couldn't go and replay that game once, twice, 3 times. You're gonna get the same outcome. America couldn't hold on to the ball whenever Cruz Azul gave it back to us, or whenever we won it. We couldn't get 1, 2, nor 3 passes before giving a ball possession, and that created a more wave of attack from Cruz Azul, which meant us having to scramble, find and pick up the pieces. And because of it, we were in situations in which we got so lucky at times and so fortunate that Rodriguez wasn't able to put the ball in the back of the net. And it's that's what angers me the most, is because I have to come out here and talk about it and say America was lucky, because if it wasn't for their poor shooting abilities, we would be talking about a different game and we'd be wrapping up our season at this point.
True.
And that's what's the worst part about it. I don't care. If you're going to play defensive, but play defensively smart, right? If you're going to soak up the pressure, soak it up. Don't give up space. Don't get kept, the fullbacks kept getting beaten like easily.
Oh,
Balls
yeah,
over,
this is
over.
Defensively, the worst game I've seen Pablo Aguilar and Jorge Sanchez play in a very long time, and that was also a concerning part.
So that's where I'm trying to get at is,
I mean,
if America wanted to play defensively good, okay, that's fine. I'm with it. Just play it right. Don't think that we survived the first 45 minutes, we're good. We definitely did this on our own merit. No, you did not. You definitely walked out of there because of luck. That's it. Just luck. There's nothing more that I can explain. It's not that defensively you played well, and I have to look at not just the defense but at the midfield as well.
I think it's just everyone. If you're really gonna say it like that, the whole team just played terrible. Even our star players and Ibarra and Guido, they didn't have a good game either.
No, they didn't.
No,
so it's just it's a whole team thing. But I don't know, that just I know what you're saying in the lucky part. Well, in the first half, yeah, they had 10 shots, but only one went on target though. Yeah, you can shoot all you can shoot all you want. You're right, but okay, but if you guys said 10 shots and 8 on target and none of them went in, that's lucky right there. That's very lucky actually. But if only one shot on target, that's it's not that bad, honestly.
No, I know, but that's just because Cruz Azul was so poor. We were lucky that they were poor. That's just what I'm trying to go at.
Yeah,
and
that's their fault. That's not our fault.
That's what I'm trying to say. But but then again, like Ivan said, like if since we weren't playing defensively very good, and they go on and they score within those first 20 minutes, or have, like you said, those 10 shots and hit them on target, then it'd be different. It'd be a different case.
It would be, but it's not.
No, it's just, I don't know. It's just.
But at the end of the day, we can agree that America got outplayed for in a stretch of 180 minutes. I feel that Cruz Azul marginally, if you add up, kind of the momentum bar and everything that I think marginally Cruz Azul was the better team. Can we agree? Can we agree to that?
Yeah, about 45.
I'm not saying because because they had a really good game on Sunday and then they outplayed us throughout the whole leg. I'm just saying you add that up and you add up to what they did in the first leg. I think marginally they played better than us in comparison to what we did in the first leg and lacked to do in the second.
Let's just say this thing. You're probably right, but let's just say this. Arguably, I was seeing on Twitter after that second leg, people were saying Cruz Azul probably had their best game of the season or whatever. They only beat us 1-0. And that was us playing really poor. They only beat us 1-0. But yet, we go in the first leg, and we beat them 3-1. So, yeah, you can. I guess it's just about moments. They just didn't know how to take their moments and convert them. I don't know.
They didn't. That's what I'm saying. We got lucky that they didn't know how to take the opportunity. But I'm not. If you put Leon in that same situation and you give him those same opportunities, I promise
Leon's gonna put it away.
Yeah,
Leon's gonna put it away.
I just don't think we play Leon like that, though.
No, I hope we don't. I hope we don't. But at this point, I don't know what I'm getting from this team to say yes or no. I inside in my heart, I want to believe that America is going to wake up and give us the best game the whole season in these both legs.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if I'm taking the fan out of me and if I'm being not biased on this situation, I have to look at the facts that America has presented this whole season. I have to look at the facts that Leon has presented this whole season. And if I'm putting these two things together, I'm looking and I'm saying America is the underdog in this situation.
Well, yeah, we are the underdog. Well, we're in a lower position on the league table. They just had a historic season. We're definitely done. Anything that goes up against them is an underdog, in my opinion. So that's not something,
No,
nothing new
I,
or
I'm just saying that right now, what America's presented to us, it's hard to argue against an America side that can definitely do better, and which we're gonna have to, because right now we're gonna preview this, and I'm gonna try to do a 180 on what I'm saying, but
I just
it's
feel
it's
like
it's, it's difficult.
it's just two completely different games, honestly. You go in the first leg, and obviously you're not gonna play defensively. That's just not gonna happen in the first leg. You're gonna out there trying to get a result to put yourself in a better position for the second leg, and that's what we did. We got ourselves in a good position for the second leg. It's just the way we handle the second leg, in my opinion, for the second half of the second leg was very poor. I think that's the where the kind of uncertainties and the questions arise from, because we did our job in the first leg. Yes or no?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got,
I'm
we
not
got
gonna
we
argue with
got
that.
the win. We got the result. We put ourselves in a good position for the second leg. Yes or no?
Yep. Which, by the way, I
Okay,
was the only one to predict that we'd walk away with 2 goals.
my man. What's up?
There we
No,
go.
didn't I say 2-1?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
I
said
said
2-1.
I said we'd walk with a 2 goal
Oh, 2 goal
margin.
margin. Okay, my man. What's up? Pound it.
There we
Anyways,
go.
but that was that. That was done. Now the second leg, whatever. Take it. We obviously we have different opinions on how we played. I'm in agreement with you guys over the second half. Yes, we're disgusting. That was an abomination. That should have never occurred. But for the first 45 minutes, like I keep saying, I didn't think we really played that bad, in my opinion. And at least it shows you that this team is somewhat capable of defending under pressure, so to say. You were under pressure for 90 minutes, you only let up 1 goal. And
Definitely.
a heroic save from Marchesi at the 93rd minute that would have caused a lot of memes for us, but thankfully didn't.
I will say this though, and we'll wrap up the Cruz Azul game with this, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about it too. And you know what? No, I'll save it for the long game. I'll save it for the long game. We'll leave it at that. We'll just say how it was. It was a job well, not a job well done, but a decent job to close the first leg, and a terrible performance by America in the second leg. Luckily enough, though, things fall into place, and America walks through with a ticket into the next round. And now we're here, and we got to play them in the semifinal game.
We played
Wrap up. Just wrap up your thoughts. Give me your last thought in one sentence on the quarterfinal, Dylan.
No, my last thoughts on the quarterfinal.
Yeah, just in general as a whole. Just give me your thought.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Okay, okay.
My inner Stephen A. Smith.
Christian.
The only thing that matters is the end result. They're the ones going home. We're the ones going to the next round. That's all I have to say.
All right. Okay. Alrighty. Well, then that wraps it up. You guys, let us know what you guys thought about that game, or what you guys think about this America side. Send us a tweet, send us an email, send us an Instagram, whatever it is. Just let us know how you guys are feeling. How's the Americanismo after such a poor performance and such a poor way to close it out? And knowing that we have such a tough opponent like Leon coming up ahead, I think there's a lot of questions to be answered. And whether or not we're going to get them, that's up to the players and to Piojo also. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think yes, 3 words wrap up how the how America did its cowboy dance disappointed, and I think that definitely wraps it up. Don't you think, Dylan?
That does wrap it up.
That definitely does. All right, we're gonna move on into the next segment of the match. Excuse me, of the podcast, and it's Christian. Do we have trivia for these fine people, or we do not?
No, yes, we do.
All righty, we have trivia. So we're gonna take a break from all this yelling at each other, so we can we can get you guys a bit of trivia. Christian, take it away. Tell these fine people what they are playing at, and I believe you have something to tell them in regards to what they're playing for.
Yes, sir. So, we'll start with the question. Trivia number 25 of the season. Scoreboards will be out later. Well, we'll do it tomorrow morning because I'm kind of tired, so I probably won't get to it. I probably won't get to it tonight, and I don't want to make a mistake and blunder anyone's chances of winning the prize. So we'll start with the question. Tonight's question is: when was the last time America played away in a semifinal second leg? That is the question. And now I guess everyone
Wait,
wants
wait,
to
can you
know.
repeat that question?
Sure. When was the last time America played away in a semifinal second leg?
When is the last time America played away in a semifinal?
In the semifinal second leg.
Ooh.
So that is the question. Um, Now the prize. I talked it over with these two fine gentlemen, and I think they were okay with whatever I had to say. Um, so we'll do this. We'll either go the winner. We'll get in contact with them via Twitter. They can either receive the new jersey that will come out next season, and they'll get that, or B, you guys just put a prize you would like to win, something reasonable. Where the board has us on a budget, so we can't really go crazy and buy you guys all paid expense trips to Estadio Azteca or something like that, but something reasonable that you guys can put in the chat, and then we'll probably pick the best prize out of that. So you guys let me know what you guys want to do, and you guys can type in the chat here or text us through Twitter. Doesn't matter. Just let us know, and yeah, we'll take it from there after that.
All right. So, like he said, open to suggestions, and it looks like Chicken Little said tacos and horchata. So
We can arrange that. We can arrange that.
we can definitely make that
We
work.
could definitely, especially Ivan. I think Ivan knows a thing or two about tacos and horchata.
I know a thing about tacos. I'm not a horchata fan.
Dylan, is that you then? Are you the horchata fan?
I like horchata.
There you go.
Alrighty then. Well, there you guys have it. Answer the question and let us know too. What do you guys think should be a good prize for you guys? Whether or not the jersey suits or not, just let us know. And again, thank you again for playing, guys. This has been fun to see all you guys' answers. And yeah, I mean, what more could we want, Dylan?
I know exactly. None of this would be possible though without any of you guys.
100%.
So again, thank you very, very much. Now comes what everyone has been waiting for, what everyone has been talking about, the arguments and the heated discussions going on, making this semifinal game just that much more spicy. And I know we got a couple of people listening to this right now, anticipating, waiting. Some of you guys may even be Leon fans. I don't know. But if you have just tuned in, we're about to talk America versus Leon. Gentlemen, I just want to hear you guys' thoughts as soon as the results were given and as soon as you guys knew that America was going to be facing Leon, what were your guys' first kind of thoughts or what did you guys think about? Christian, I'll throw it to you first, and then Dylan, you can add on after that.
Excited.
Elaborate.
I'm excited to play the number one team in the league. I'm excited to prove everyone wrong that this America team can't be a bicampeon, because there's been a lot of doubts after that second leg. So yeah, I'm just excited.
Okay, Dylan, what was your thought?
My thought was thinking what a challenge this is gonna be.
Challenge in what way? In the best of ways or not?
Who knows at this point?
I mean, I guess I'll give my 2 cents in regards to this.
You have 2 cents?
I do, somewhere around here, somewhere.
Dang.
I was hoping that for some reason, Necaxa would make it through, and we would end up playing Tigres. Only because I was hoping that for some reason Necaxa would win against Leon, and we were able to kind of end this kind of run at the Estadio Azteca. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Whether America makes it into the next round, there would still be no way that we finish this game on home territory. So that's kind of a bummer. And then noticing that we have Leon, I will say this: I was worried because I didn't know what America was, or I still don't know what America is going to give. And that's the only thing I have. I'm not worried that Leon's going to come and outplay us. I'm not worried that Leon could be the better team. I'm just worried that America doesn't have what it takes inside of them. Because talent-wise, we know it's there. Just they haven't showed up. I just worried that America might just fail against all odds. And that's what worries me.
It's not unusual. I think everyone sees the America's second leg performance and automatically thinks that. Let's say we gave the same performance we
Not
did in
just
the
that.
first leg.
Not just that. Not just that.
Would
First
you
leg
would
was
you?
subpar too. So
Mm,
first leg was subpar. Yeah, I mean, even if you go back, like you
mm,
say, that we went and got the result that we needed against the first leg against Cruz Azul. Okay, so did Leon. But then whenever they turn around and go to, they still take the game to Cholos. But except Cruz Azul takes the game to us.
right, but Cholos is Cholos and Cruz Azul is Cruz Azul.
Yeah, but still at the same time, how come Leon didn't sit back either? Why did we sit back? Why didn't we try to take this game to Cruz Azul? Because like
So
we even
that
said,
that wasn't
you
their
kind
game
of.
plan.
I know, but still, there's like you kind of agreed to it too. That 2-0 margin goal lead that not 2-0, that 2-goal margin lead. It could be deadly sometimes, and it kind of proved to effect that it could have been deadly towards us.
Hmm.
All right. We're going to get to the nitty-gritty of this game in just a second, but we have to add a little bit more context to this game. We have add a little bit more spice to the fire. We got to feel it a little bit more, and then we'll get into the tactics and all that stuff, because we need to talk about what's been going on within the past couple of hours down in Mexico City, bringing you guys live update from what's going on. Let me open my Yahoo Mail. Not Yahoo Mail, excuse me. My Yahoo News. I think that's where I saw the article. So in the past couple of 4 days, Mexico City have been kind of they've had some wildfires surrounding the outside of the cities, and because of that, you've seen an excess of smog or smoke at this point, and which has really been terrible for the city in general, to the point where they have they have given us, oh man, I'm trying to look right here, the air pollution. That's terrible. I don't even I Why am I not prepared for this? This is terrible. All right, well,
Last week
point
it
is,
was me. This week is you now.
no, and I had the article here.
Look at Dylan. He's like, "Come on, man. Some amateurs I'm working with."
Actually, I had the article. I
Let's
had the
just say it's
article
not.
up.
It's not safe. It's not safe to be playing
It's
some
not safe
football
at
in
all.
Mexico City right now. Let's
All
just
right,
leave it
look,
at that.
Ivan,
look,
just
look.
skip to the point. Just skip to the point, Ivan. Come on now. You got the people waiting.
Like I said, last week it was me. This week is you now.
All right, so basically, these fires have made it so that there's just a cloud of smoke all over Mexico City. Which, if any of you have ever experienced something like this, it's definitely not safe for your lungs, and it definitely does make it hard for you to breathe. So Mexico has been under, kind of guess, warning that they've actually have kind of a bit of a lockdown situation going on. They're advised to stay inside the residence and everything. They're actually limiting how many cars can be on the road, and with that said too, uh, they're really exceeding precaution right now down there. I don't know how the situation is at hand as we're speaking right now, but hopefully things have been gotten better. But because of this, the Liga MX came into the Estadio Seca. They did an assessment, and they said that this game was not going to be deemed ready to be played tomorrow, with everything going on in regards to Mexico City and the weather and the environment and all this smoke, which, by the way, some of the smoke could reach the U.S. Just kind of an FYI, just to kind of show you guys how serious the situation is, because I feel like some people aren't really grasping the seriousness of this, because everything that's been going on Twitter,
Leon
um,
fans.
and because of that, the game has now been pushed to Thursday, and yeah. So what was originally going to be played Wednesday night is now moved on to Thursday night, and there has been so so much madness going on because of this. And so let's talk about it. Let's break it down a little bit, and then we'll get into the game because I think this adds a little bit more context into how big this game is gonna be, not just only for Leon but for America as well. So kind of the big thing that I'm hearing, or the big thing that I've been reading so far when it comes to Twitter and some of the Leon fans and some of the people that are criticizing America and the Liga for doing this is that, well, America gets an extra day to rest. And that's kind of the thing that they're saying, like, oh, America gets an extra day. That's not fair, yada, yada, yada. The only
Invalid.
thing I have in regards to that is, okay, but Leon has an even extra day to rest. So now it means you're coming even more rested than what you originally were going to come as, right?
Correct. But they
That's
don't see it
one
like
thing.
that, though.
They don't. They just see that, oh, America has an extra day to rest, when in theory, both teams are resting. Yes, a day more, but I mean, in theory, you still
I don't
have the
think
upper
that's a
hand in
theory.
this.
Yes, yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think that's a theory. That's just facts.
Exactly. But, Leon fans just want to do whatever they, do you want to talk about this? They're just honestly dumb.
Now, the second argument that they've been making is, why wasn't the venue changed at this point? One, America had set their sights on this game being played at this Azteca and no other stadium as well. And to a degree, I can agree to why America wants this. It's their home stadium. It's the home advantage. You want your fans there. You want your home stadium to play a part in this, right? I get that.
Correct.
Now, the also thing that it kind of baffles me, okay, you want to change venues and you want to change things right away. You're giving what, about 24-hour notice to completely do a 180 on everything and switch everything around. I'm talking hotel reservations. I'm talking, and not just for America, but for Leon as well. They would have had to change their flight plans. They would have had to change itineraries. They would have had to change, the hotel bookings and everything like that. And then on top of that, you have the tickets that have already gone on sale that now need to be redistributed out to a different location. Fans have, now you have the kind of stress that, okay, now you have to sell these tickets to the other to the other fans around that area. Then you have the TV people that, all right, now they have to go and make changes to them, and they have to do a whole move to a whole different stadium, you know. And then you have, the league that has to switch it all around and get officials and all this stuff going and moving all of that. To a certain degree, I can understand that in the time space of 2-3 days, right? Kind of like with the earthquake situation where America, the Azteca wasn't deemed safe enough, but you had enough time. You had enough time in between that game to say, okay, we're gonna move this game to the Estadio Nemesio Diaz, and that's what happened. Remember, we were talking here on the podcast that game was most likely going to be played in Veracruz, or that
they would find an alternative venue. Yes.
Yeah, and that was days in advance. That wasn't, okay, the day overnight. This would have literally happen the next day. That's as crazy as maybe Liga MX is. I don't think they have that perfect way to make it happen just in a snap like that. I think this would have had to at least taken at least 2 days for them to say, okay, we're gonna move it to a different stadium, we're gonna push it out, we're gonna do all this, we're gonna do re-ticket sales, the itineraries for you guys, all that stuff, all of that settled down within at least 2 days. You're making it day, the next, you want to make it from night to day, it's not gonna work. Like, I just don't see it happening. So to the people saying that, yes, move the game just to a different stadium. If this would have happened on Monday, maybe, but it happens today. It doesn't work for me. Just to go play on a Wednesday, it doesn't.
And
I don't
not
see
even
it.
that. Like, what if Leon was put in this situation? What if they were the ones that that were threatened to play a semifinal game away from their fans, away from their home venue? They wouldn't like it either. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that they're pinning an uncontrollable situation on the America institution. It just doesn't make sense at all. And quite frankly, they sound kind of dumb doing that because they think that we can control the smog and the hazardous condition it presents when playing a soccer match in smog. Like do they hear themselves sometimes? Like, I don't know. It was honestly kind of dumb, to be honest.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of people taking a stab at America, and then of course bringing the whole, well, I guess when Televisa owns you, you get to do whatever you want, and also at that point, Did we not go over this? Televisa has no more rights to America. We're not attached to them anymore. That's it. They're just the ones who provide us the broadcasting. That's it. Televisa doesn't pay bills anymore. Televisa doesn't do anything. It's Emilio Escarraga at that point, and Emilio Escarraga doesn't even have control of Televisa anymore. He gave that up. Someone else is running Televisa now. So it's like it's we're not even in the same boat anymore.
Are you running Televisa?
Oh man, I
I
wish
wish.
we would have had more ink. Can you imagine,
Dude, what?
the little Televisa logo right before the podcast starts?
Yeah, right here.
Televisa presents the Eagle Eye podcast, boys.
And like a theme song starts playing.
3 friends from 3 different venues. Yeah, I don't know. We can make something happen.
Yeah, let's scratch that. That's chalked. But yeah, the arguments that Leon fans and just present, I don't know, it's stupid, honestly. Let's leave it at that.
So I mean, a lot of heated debates going on between both fan bases, which I think adds a little bit more to the ever-growing rivalry between America and Leon. Of course,
it's not a rivalry.
Well, it is for this weekend. It definitely is because of everything surrounding and everything that
It's gonna be a good match. Let's leave it at that.
Good enough, hopefully, to merit both teams coming out with the best, with everything that they could possibly do.
I can't wait. Honestly, this is gonna be a great series.
Definitely should be. Definitely should be. All right, so let's get to the nitty gritty of this game now, and let's actually talk about the game rather than everything outside of the pitch. America comes into this game obviously not in the best form. Definitely with a lot of questions to be asked, and whether or not we're going to get the best out of America is, well, still yet to be determined. We won't get that answer until Thursday night once we see them go out and step onto that pitch. But here is the real question at hand, gentlemen. Can we see an America turn it around? I mean, granted, yes. I mean, Dylan, you said it yourself. Talent-wise, player-wise, we should be, on paper, the team with the more dominant players. Yet, my question is, mentally speaking and morale-wise, can you see this team completely do a 180, turn it around, and actually look like a side that can contend for the bicampeonato and put a good, strong game against Leon?
It's really hard to, for me at least. For me, as much as I want to see this team, because I really do want to see this team turn around. I really want to see this team go out and really fight. Because I know it's going to be a fight until every last single minute of the whole 180 minutes between both legs. But it's really hard for me to see this team because, like you said, this is the mentality there, because at the end of the day, in the regular season, I know regular season is going to be different from the Liga, but still we're going what America side are we going to get, and that's my kind of question going into Thursday's game is what America side are we going to get?
Okay, Christian,
I can see America take on Leon. No problem.
Okay. So now, let's go where we always go. Let's go with our predicted lineup, and let's talk about the team, the players that we expect to be on the pitch. And people are asking whether or not Edson Alvarez will be fit to play. And I think he won't be, at least for the first leg, correct?
First leg, he will not be available.
So I think at that point we can chuck Edson Alvarez out, and he definitely won't be making an appearance come Thursday unless for some weird magical reason he does. But you guys can definitely expect for Edson not to play on Thursday, maybe, possibly come Sunday, hopefully, all fingers crossed. Especially, Edson may be something to prove after signing a contract extension, which will keep him at the club for 2022. And something we should definitely be talking about, but we'll most likely have to glance over just because we have so much to talk about in this preview against Leon. So, I mean, kind of a good thing we have Edson on a longer contract, but it's something I guess we'll have to talk about later on in another episode.
Yeah, people are saying it's because so he won't leave on a free this summer, and we'll get more money for him if we do end up selling him in the summer. It's all speculation, honestly, but it was nice to see it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, gentlemen, give me your predicted lineup. Dylan, I'll throw it to you, and then Christian, you can finish wrapping it off because I know you have yours already written down. Dylan, how do you see America planting themselves come Thursday against Leon?
How do I see them? I had all day to think about this, and I still freeze up whenever you ask me. Obviously I think I'm gonna go Marchesín in net, Aguilar, Aguilera, Bruno, Sanchez. I think you still have Renato in there, Guido in there, obviously. I really gonna throw a curve in there. I'm gonna say maybe Cordova gets a start. And you have Ibargüen, you're gonna have Nico and Roger up top.
Okay, interesting. Christian, how do you see America fielding against Leon on Thursday?
I see Marchesín, Pablo Aguilar, Bruno Valdez, Emmanuel Aguilera, Jorge Sanchez, the standard, obviously. Renato Ibarra, Guido Rodriguez. I want to see Cordova too. I don't think he'll do it, so I'll put Mateo Uribe in there. Andres Ibargüen. Up top, we'll have Nico Castillo and Oribe Peralta.
Interesting. So you're leaving the man who scored 2 goals against Cruz Azul out.
I don't want to, but it's going to happen.
Interesting. Okay. Now here is the question, and this is actually a question that was specifically asked for me to bring up in the podcast by our one of our listeners. It's all used to be known as Little Hat Trick, now goes by UEFA Champions League Ronaldo activated. You guys can follow him on Twitter at Mexican Soccer 9. The whole Nico Castillo thing. Does he still merit a start after the poor performances he's been giving us week in and week out?
He doesn't merit it, but he's still gonna get it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a Henry Martin be a better situation at this hand?
I think there's too much. I think there's too much money on the table for Nico to get benched really at this point. Still,
yeah. Would Henry Martin be a better fit? I mean, you kind of get the same thing, honestly.
Really, because I think Henry's giving us just a bit more than Nico. I mean, I see Nico Castillo, and sometimes I see him run and press, and other times I don't really get what he's trying to do. He can't control a ball in certain situations. I mean, you saw him struggle.
Yeah.
Both legs. Couldn't do what I've asked, countless of strikers that have come America to do. It's receive the ball, control it, hold it, let your midfielders or your partner play off of you. Something that I really feel Nico should know how to do, but still hasn't been able to execute that. Henry at points would definitely give you that. I'm not saying perfectly, but there's times where he did. And I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I want to see a Henry put in a situation in which he has a chance to, outshine Nico. Who knows? Maybe it comes to fruition. Maybe it doesn't. But it's something that some people are definitely questioning as to whether or not has Henry done more for America than Nico has this season.
I mean, they've both been very underperforming, in my opinion. The thing with Nico Castillo is, and I saw Miguel Herrera say it in his press conference after the game, and I saw a whole bunch of analysts say it too. And I'm looking, and I kind of rewatched a couple of games during the season. And they were all saying that Nico's making the runs. Nico kind of wants to present himself, and it's just showing himself. It's just the ball's not getting to him. And we don't really have a player like that to just solely focus on finding Nico Castillo. We have Andres Ibargüen, who barely gets the ball to begin with, so we'll scratch him. Mateo Uribe underperforming. We don't even talk about him. We'll chalk him out. Guido Rodriguez, that's not his job, so scratch him. Renato Ibarra, yeah, he can dribble, makes a few passes here and there, but he can't cross, so scratch him. Roger Martinez, he tries to, but that's why I take him out and put Oribe Peralta in, because Oribe Peralta knows he's kind of more of like that guy that you want to hold the ball and kind of distribute a little bit more. He can do that. Oribe Peralta can, not to a whole, a great extent, but he can still do it though, and maybe that's the kind of player Nico needs beside him or behind him to get more out of him.
I just feel like Christian's adding the same excuses for Henry now.
Right, but when Henry gets a chance, he misses them.
Okay, but
So
Nico
has
has neither.
Nico.
So has
I
Nico.
mean, does Nico even get chances?
Yes,
I mean, yeah,
he's missed sitters.
dude. I've even seen Henry
The
make
the
some
only
run. I've even had seen Henry make runs. Nothing gets past to him either. Sometimes.
right, but but Nico doesn't barely get anything past to him either. He was a ghost this second game, in the second leg.
So what I'm really hearing is why aren't our forwards adapting to the game plan that the team has instead of trying to play the lone striker role and not try to rather adapt to the team and play off their strengths rather than the team try to play off theirs.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
That's I mean, I'm not here to pick a side. I'm just
I mean,
bringing something up that I think is valid for us to discuss coming into such an important game which we need strikers to finish their opportunities. You
right.
get chances against Leon, you need to put them away because if you don't, they
Yeah,
will come back to haunt you. It's as
yeah,
simple as that.
100%.
So if Nico's the option, then Nico better prove himself. If we put Henry there, then I want Henry to come in and prove himself. There's there's 2 points and there's two valid reasons to both spectrums in this argument. But
Honestly, I just want to say this before anyone starts, killing me. I don't think they're both the same. They're both equally lazy. They both can't control the ball. Yes, they make runs. I think Nico makes better runs, but they both can't finish either. So you're kind of getting the same thing. Honestly, I just think with Nico, you probably have a better chance of getting a goal than Henry, in my opinion. That's just my opinion,
we'll
though.
see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, but all right, I just wanted to bring that up. We talked about it, we discussed it, and I think there's still yet room for more of this discussion, but we have to wait and see what this game brings to us. But okay, so let's say and I just want you to clarify what do you think why do you think Oribe Peralta plays this game?
I just think. Well, let's put it this way. Was it in the first game? I won't say the first game. Yeah, we'll go with the first game. We'll go with the first game. I think just when Peralta comes on, this team just looks a little bit different, in my opinion. The team looks more, I don't know, more alive. It's you see him running around and kind of trying to create something or put an extra lifeline in this team, and that's just something I don't think anyone else can do. I don't know. I just feel it, Peralta just provides that something like that extra, like oomph, like that, that kind of like that second life in the game, and we need that. And plus, on the other side, when I said, I think Nico needs a player like Peralta to kind of just focus solely on him and just, finding him. That's probably going to be his game plan. And and also Peralta's a leader too. He's been in this situation before. We kind of need a leader type player in there at all times. I just think Peralta's a better fit than Roger Martinez in my opinion, especially when situations get tough.
I agree with everything you said, but
But
because of that, but since the fact that everything you said actually is true, I think that gives merit more for Oribe to be a super sub.
probably, but
No, and I think you said it
yeah,
perfectly in which you said Oribe Peralta is kind of like the second lifeline to this America side. You bring him into this game in the second half. He gives you that second lifeline, and he kind of upbrings you and makes you play, a different way, a little bit better, gives you a bit more momentum going forward.
right.
I think America can capitalize that in the second half,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I think I see Roger starting.
Right. The problem with that I see is that what game was it? Was it the Veracruz game when he just came on and assisted Nico right away? That was the game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The only problem with that I see is that Peralta comes in all like this and that, running, but you have tired players on your wings. You have a incompetent striker in front of you, so it's kind of hard for you to get the most out of Peralta. But put him in a starting position, maybe you can get a little bit more out of him. You're still gonna get the same heart and soul of Peralta running down. Going back all the way 90 yards and coming back 90 yards. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. You're still going to get that player, maybe not for, 90 minutes, but you're going to get it for, 60 minutes. And maybe that's when you bring on a Henry Martin or, Roger Martinez kind of just to close this game out.
Okay, interesting. So, how do you guys want to go about it? Do we start Oribe or do we leave him on the bench? Dylan?
I say we start him.
Okay, so we start him. So let's go off our let's assess the game now, knowing that we have our starting 11. So we have Cordoba on the bench and we have Uribe playing because I think we can all agree to that he's going to start, and then we're going to have Uribe Peralta up top with Roger Martinez. So now, how does America approach this game, and how does America go out and try to give us the best performance possible while also making sure that Leon isn't capable of playing their game? What is
We
the
need to
what is the
break
one thing?
legs.
Well, no, I don't. I don't want to get to that point. That's more of the second leg. I think I'll answer my own question here, and I want to see America possess the ball from the get go. I don't necessarily need them to take the game to Leon. I just need them to get a feel of the ball. I need them to move the ball around. I need them to get an understanding of what they're playing, get a rhythm going. And then if you gradually need to get there and gradually, upscale in the attack, I'm okay with that. Just have more of the ball possession, have more confidence when it comes to passing, especially when you're in that final third. I need more precise passing, and I need better. I just need better decision making from some of our forwards or some more of our attacking players. That's what I need from that America side. I think that's what America needs to do in order to take this game to Leon. They need to have most of the ball. They need to have most of the rhythm going their way, and they need to make sure that they throw Leon's game off balance by making sure that they don't hold the ball, that they don't take the game to them. They move it around. They let Leon chase it. And if Leon's going to sit back deep, then okay, that's fine. Work your way around that. Force the spaces to open. Make smart runs and take your opportunities when you get them. Because let me tell you, I can see this game going of two ways on Thursday. It can be a complete snooze fest in which you don't get that much opportunities, and the few 1, 2, 3 chances that you get, you need to put in the back of the net. Or for some reason, it could be an open goal fest. And if that's the case, then I still need you to be precise, and I still need you to outscore the other team.
I think you make really good points. I think I agree with all of it. Just um, I think we need to have a better start when it comes to opening the game. The first half, we need to have a better start. We had terrible starts in both legs against Cruz Azul, and we need to have a better start in the second half because once again we had terrible starts against Cruz Azul in the start of the second legs. I think we just need to, set ourselves in the game, like you just said, know what we're playing, know who we're up against, and play our game. Leon thrives off possession, and if we can limit that, even by the tiny bit of it, they aren't as dangerous as everyone perceives them to be. Without the ball, they're nothing. Let's be honest. No team is nothing without the ball. But they just thrive out of possession so much that if they don't have the ball for as long as they don't want, like as long as they need the ball, they're not going to be as dangerous. And that's where we need to implement our game plan, and then we can take it to them once we're in the game, we're settled in, we're kind of flowing a little bit. That's when we kind of can start to get things going.
Now, that sounds perfect, and on paper, it sounds exactly what America needs to do. And you think, okay, that doesn't sound like that's the hardest thing to do, right? It doesn't sound so out of this world. I'm not asking for some crazy run tactics. I'm not asking for for you to run in, for you to pull a marker, and for this guy to do an overlapping run, and for this guy to switch it. I'm not asking for all of that complex. I'm just asking for simple ball movement. The only thing that worries me, and the only thing why I see America struggling with this, is that they get so nervous sometimes when they have the ball. It's that they want to release it so quickly, and when they do so, they do it very imprecise. You give some very poor passing, and I just need them to have a cool, calm, collected head when it comes to the passing. That's what I need. And that's what we haven't been getting. We've seen in America rush passing. We've seen America try to force the ball down the middle when there's no spaces. I
Ooh.
I just I don't see it.
You're saying we're so anxious. We need a player to slow the game down and be smart with the passing. I wish we had a player who slows the games down, intelligent with the ball, and know how to control the pace of a game. I really wish we had a player like that, but sadly we don't, unfortunately. So we can't even get into that.
No, because Cuauhtemoc Blanco is retired. We don't have that at this point. But
You know
look,
what I mean,
look,
though.
look, look. All aspects aside, the points you made too. This is gonna be a mentality game. It really is. because the points y'all make, with Christian about the possession with Leon, and then Ivan, you bring up, Medica having to play their possession game, be smart with the ball, and don't be so nervous and anxious with the ball. It's gonna have to come down to that mentality. You can't let nothing get you down, no matter what, in this game either. And it's gonna come down, and somebody really really has to step up and be a leader on this team, because you haven't really seen it, and this game's gonna be so crucial for somebody to really step up
That's
and
You
be
why,
the
know,
leader on
yeah,
the
you
and
know the
for the
one
team.
that's
the
another
one
reason
player.
why I had Peralta starting too.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know what? The one player that needs to step up, and if I guarantee you, I put everything I own on this statement. If this player steps up into the match, I promise you, America walks away with a very good goal margin, and that's
Navarrete?
Mateus Uribe.
Oh, I was wrong.
If Mateus, yeah, Navarrete will step up out of the shadow somewhere and say, "Come on."
Yeah, but
If Mateus Uribe can come out of whatever dark hole he's from and just play a consistently good game, dominate the midfield, and this is something I'm going to talk to you about right now, Dylan, because this is something that you've mentioned throughout the whole podcast. Is the midfield battle is such an important aspect of the game. If Mateus Uribe can come out and play to an extent where he can dominate the midfield, can distribute the passing, can create chances, and can get himself in positions in which he can, distribute good balls and also take a good opportunity of shots. I promise you that Leon has no way to counter him. No way to counter a type of player like Mateus Uribe, the type of player that we know he can be. If he can come out and step into this game, step into the light, and prove all of us wrong, all of his naysayers throughout these whole past 2 seasons, if he can come out and completely dominate, then I can definitely see America easily walking away with a very, very good goal cushion. And if that's the case, then I will completely have a Mateus Uribe poster, right there on the ceiling of my of where I sleep.
I feel like that's been the whole thing this whole season, though. How many times have we said Mateus Uribe is our player to watch? If we get the old Mateus, we'll have a good game. How many times have we said it this season, though? Like, let's be honest.
A bunch.
We said it a lot of times. Pretty much. I'll go back. We probably said it more than 10 times, to be honest. Now, the fact that we've been saying it more than 10 times and we're still saying it now, it's very unlikely that we're gonna get a Mateus Uribe that's gonna spring into action and be the game changer. It's very, very unlikely. Now, while I do agree with you that that if Mateus Uribe springs into action, and we could potentially walk away with a good 2-3 goal margin heading into Leon. That would be amazing for us. But at this point, do you really have that much faith in Mateus Uribe to show up in this game?
No,
I
I
want
mean
to.
that.
I want him to. I want him to. That's
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
I said
you
I want
want
him
to.
to.
You
Yeah,
want
I
him
never said
to.
he will.
you
I never
want
said he
him to.
will.
No, you're right. You never said you would. You want him to, but we wanted him to do that since Jornada 2. So
But if he was to show up for any game, this would be the right moment. It's like
definitely.
I need him. America needs him.
I
You
mean,
know, I,
because I mean, yeah, I mean, we've said before that Guido does the positioning of two, center defensive mids,
Ooh,
but
that's a good
to
topic.
but yeah, exactly. And Christian, I think you kind of know where I'm going with this, but who do we pinpoint in this midfield against Leon? I mean, like, in all honesty, like who do we need to, like, really, like, take the mark and watch as this midfield goes on?
okay, look, going to that midfield discussion. This is why I said I was going back to you, and you're bringing it up. How dominant can Leon be in the midfield?
I mean,
Very so.
you look at it: Meneses, Mena, Campbell, um, Montes. I'm probably forgetting somebody else, but I mean, it's
And just
there.
alone, their midfield is very well. It's very well. I'm not saying it's the best midfield out there in the league. I'm just saying it's very well, and compelled to say that that they have that little extra edge on them because of how well their season has been going. Yet, if America with Guido and Mateus Uribe can disrupt that midfield and can get a hold of it, then I don't see Leon getting past us, and I don't see Leon finding a way around it. So I think some of their best football is played through those midfielders. And if you can isolate, you know, most of what they're doing, then you completely nullify what Leon is capable of you know, whether or not they can get Ruben Sambuesa with the ball or out wide to Campbell or to whoever. It
You
it, it
see,
it disrupts their play a lot if they can't orchestrate anything coming out of those midfielders,
Right.
right? And that's what and if Guido can do the job of two men, then he can easily hold down the defensive part with a Mateus Uribe coming in and helping from time to time and taking
But that's the
the
problem.
attacking
that
midfielder
yeah,
role to
and
it.
you still have Novato coming down from the right back side too.
No, I
But
understand, and
just,
I'm
but
not
just,
saying that.
yeah. Let's take away from that. That's the problem, though. That you can't consistently put Guido in that situation, though. We
Yeah,
saw it. We saw it in the second leg against Cruz Azul. Mateo City was so non-existent that he even made Guido Rodriguez play bad. That's worrisome. How do you have a player affect you so much that you're gonna play bad? Like that's very worrisome. And we often said, well, I don't know if we said it, but I've heard it somewhere that Mateo Cedro played his best ball next to Guido Rodriguez, and it's so astonishing and baffling that Mateo Cedro can't even just return to that form. It's worrisome, and Leon plays a stacked midfield. I think they transitioned from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-5-1, and if you're gonna have that midfield overwhelm you, it's basically Guido against three, and you're gonna have a very very tough time. And this is where you're really missing Edson Alvarez, because with Guido and Edson, we probably won't be talking about this. I think with those two, I don't think any team in this league can pass us.
But that's not the situation we have. That's why I said. That's why I mentioned the one player to if they can have a superb game, step up,
Yeah,
and if it's
it's
Matheus
Mateo.
Uribe, then
Any
then I
chance
can see
Cordova
America
starts?
walk. Huh?
Any chance Cordova starts?
No, no
Yeah,
chance
no.
of starting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I was just
No,
throw it out there, curveball out there.
no. But even I don't think Cordoba gives you what an informed Matheus Uribe can give you, and
Definitely
you're
brings you better than
banking,
what out of form Mateus Uribe gets you.
no, for real.
but you're banking on the fact that he needs to step up in the situation. I think it's something that Piojo needs to talk to him about. Is say, hey, I
You
want
don't
you,
think
I
he has?
need you. I think he needs to drill it in this more than he has already, and we
Uh,
really.
I don't know how much you can drill before
Yeah,
you
I know.
poke another hole through the side of his head or something.
I know. I
It's
mean, if you've done it this much and nothing's worked, then I don't even know what I'll do.
I think just go up to him, be like, look,
No, you know what?
free gancitos for life if you can make it happen. And
Cowboy Dan's gonna go down there and just get him on a damn bull. Just ride that bull.
just right the ball.
Just
I
ride
also
the
want to
bull.
see Arenato Ibarra consistent. Honestly, he
Well,
had a
I don't.
good
He
he
had a
had a
very
good
tough
game.
second game because he was being consistently marked by two
Right,
people.
right, but he had a good game first game though.
He because he kept leaving Aldet in the dust, and then
That's what I'm
Caixinha
saying.
was smart enough to realize that, and he said, "Okay, we're gonna put two players on him," and that's why you isolate his game. It's not his fault.
No, I know it's not his fault, but he played good in the first game, though. I just don't think Leon is, they probably are smart enough to double team him, but I don't think they will, in my opinion. I think they trust their left back to handle him. So I think that's where Dante Ibarra needs to be smart and expose him, because Dante Ibarra can get past anyone in this league. So if that's the case, then that's gonna be a huge advantage for us when going into the attack.
So, okay, so we talked about what America needs to do. We talked a little bit about Leon. Maybe should should we be looking out for something specifically, or
And Leon,
yeah?
Angel Mena. You limit Angel Mena.
Yeah,
That's pretty much their whole team, honestly.
yeah,
Not their
really.
whole team, but that's a very, very good
That's a
part of the
good
team.
chunk. That's a
That's a
good chunk.
very good chunk. That's like taking away, Guido from us, honestly.
So you limit Angel Mena's
You limit Angel Mena, mhm.
ball time, and then you're looking at someone like JJ Macias,
Yeah,
who could be explosive.
he's explosive, yes, but I think our center back can handle him. I think Bruno Valdez can handle him.
I think you knock him down a couple of times here and there, and maybe throws him off his game rhythm.
Yeah.
So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but he won't be there for the second leg.
Yes,
right?
he
He
won't.
won't,
He
and
went to
He
World Cup.
won't.
that's why a lot of people were up in arms about this game being pushed back as well. And my only question and the only criticism I had to that was, one, why did Leon give him permission to go so early? Two, if you were so confident that you're gonna get past America, he is not gonna be there for the final. Then, so how is that such a big deal then?
Yeah, because it
There you
starts
go.
what next Friday for them.
Yeah. So that's that was my question. It's like, okay, so if you're so confident that you're gonna get past America, that you're gonna beat us, then what's it matter if JJ Macias is there for Sunday's match and
Mhm.
not there for the finals? Is that completely different, or
Yeah,
what is it?
exactly.
And that was my only question to that. But
Yeah.
that is just that. So okay, so that's Thursday's game. Give me your guys' prediction for how you guys seeing America come out on Thursday.
You want score prediction?
Scoreboard, yeah.
3-1.
3-1 America, Dylan.
America.
2-1.
2-1 America. Okay.
2-1. That's all I'm saying.
You can't do it like
2-1.
last time you did that. We lost. Can you please pick a team?
America.
Okay.
I'm going 2-0 America. And I think
That's perfect. That's gonna be a good scoreline.
America needs to keep a clean sheet at all costs, and they need to score goals. And like I said, whether this game comes down to being open and ended on both sides, I still need a clean sheet and I still need those 2 goals. Or if it comes down to being a snooze fest, those 2 chances you get all game, they better go into the back of the net.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. Simple as that. All right, so going and we talked about this last podcast, going into the second leg, it's so difficult for us to even preview it because we don't even know what happens on Thursday's game. But we will kind of give the general broad kind of depiction of what this game needs to be for America. It's an away game. Our away form has not been that great. So what does America need to do in the second half, this second leg, regardless of what the result is in the Azteca come Thursday? What does America need to do in order to ensure themselves that they can grab themselves a ticket into the next into the final of the Clausura, going into the Camp Nou?
Oof, that's just a very hard question to ask because it kind of does depend on Thursday's scoreline. You wouldn't agree?
No, and that's why I said,
No, yeah.
Did you hear that too?
yeah,
I mean,
no, yeah.
I just think really the same way we kind of put those main points for the first leg. Really,
Yeah.
too. I I,
Mhm.
I
I
think
think
it's just,
I think they need to find
Just
that
rinse and
fine
repeat,
that
honestly.
they need and I think it's kind of the same thing I would say too. They just need to find that fine line between being conservative and I guess an aggressive to the sense.
yeah. So I mean, if you have a good game in the Azteca and you want to follow it up, just kind of like you said, Christian, rinse and repeat. If you're gonna play defensively, do it smart and do it better this time. And if you find yourself in a favorable position in which you have the advantage, then be smart enough to know how to capitalize on it. Be smart enough to know how to let the other team chase the game, but at the same time being able to clinically, you know, put this game to bed when you need to. Be smart about how you're moving the ball around. And like I said, this game literally comes down to the fine line of everything. It is play the simple game, play the smart way, make smart passes, make smart choices, do good runs, and acknowledge your teammates, and you can come out on top. And I could see America winning both games if they do the most simplest of things, and that is just get the ball moving correctly. Don't overthink, don't overstress, and just play the simple ball. It's
Hmm.
as simple as that. I
Yeah.
can see America walking out with both a victory. You know, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not writing Leon off for no reason, but they are the league leaders for some reason. Now, I did mention Leon comes into this game obviously playing better than any other team right now in the league. Obviously with the most momentum. Obviously with a tremendous regular season behind them. And I said at the beginning of this podcast that could easily as well be their Achilles heel because, like Dylan mentioned, this is a game in which mentality and what your mindset is gonna basically run down to. If America can somehow play against their own kind of hubris in how they take this match, then you can easily see America walk away with a very, very good opportunity at knocking them out. You
Hmm.
know, there's a point in which you have, confidence, and there's at some state there's the fine line in which you can get an excess of confidence, and if Leon for some reason showcases that anytime within Thursday or Sunday, America needs to know and capitalize it and jump on it and play to that advantage, and play to their overconfidence if that's the case. I'm not saying that's exactly what Leon might do, or Leon may even showcase that, but that is also a way to get at them is if they have this pride to them, and granted they should, if they have this confidence to themselves, then find a way to play off of that, capitalize on it, and get them to start doubting themselves, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you're said they're a very momentum based team, and maybe when things does start don't go in their way, like in that Chivas game when they played against Chivas, they all of a sudden things weren't going their way. They're down on the score line. They kind of don't know how to react. Granted, it could have been a different situation, no pressure. Yes, I understand, but even now when the stage is bigger and you're playing against America in a semifinal match, though it can get to you. Don't think that just because you're this historic team and everything's riding for you that you're not gonna mess up here and there, or your mental game might be somewhere else, because it can be somewhere else. And like you said, America needs to be smart and realize and react when they notice when Leon's slipping up, because this team doesn't slip up often, but when they do, that's when you capitalize on, and that's how you beat them.
Definitely, definitely. Alrighty then, gentlemen, give me your prediction, because I believe the game on Sunday is gonna be a lot tougher. Leon's gonna have home advantage. Leon's gonna have a good opportunity to go at America. I expect an even tougher match at the Camp Nou. I expect the Leon side to take the game more to America, but if America could be smart enough on how to maneuver these situations, then they could definitely come out with a good result. So, all right, gentlemen, give me your predicted score line for Sunday. I know that's even more difficult than Tuesday. So, Dylan, give me your prediction for Sunday.
Um, 1-1.
1-1. All right, Christian.
2-2.
2-2. That's that. Goddamn, that's a very that's a game that definitely puts me in a heart attack. Um,
Yeah, and the Gurusel game didn't you didn't do that to you?
yeah, and I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, dude,
Uh,
the cardiac of a game.
I'm going 1-0. America wins.
See, I would have done that too, but I don't think we shut out Leon in their own home stadium, honestly. Like that, and that's just honestly speaking. I don't think we could shut them out in their own home. And our home, I can see it happening, but in their home, yeah, I don't know, that's just a tougher task to ask. But I still like it though. 1-0 win. We're on to the final if all our predictions come true.
Definitely, definitely. Well, let us know what you guys think in the chat and on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you guys want to let us know. Let us know what your guys' prediction is. If you guys are listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify, make sure you guys hit us up on Twitter. Follow us at Eagle Eye Podcast. I believe we are how far are we along? Give me a
8, 9.
second. I know this. We
No, you don't.
are
You don't know it.
890 followers on Twitter. We are 10 away from 900. So if you guys can get the word out, that'd be amazing for us to reach 900 followers within this weekend. Pretty awesome, though.
Amazing. If you
It's
ask
And
a
me.
we
great
all owe it
accomplishment.
to you guys. So let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have kept you guys here for long enough. This is one of our longest episodes, but definitely one of our best ones, I would say. A lot of heated discussions, a lot of heated arguments, but I think a lot of good things said on this podcast as well. So thank you to everyone who came out to listen to us, to everyone that interacted with us in the chat. Thank you to every single one of you guys who have listened right now through Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud. I know it's been one heck of a long episode, so hopefully you guys were doing I don't know, something that took over an hour and a half to do. Hopefully it was a drive back to work or something. I don't know, but thank you guys to all of you for coming out, supporting, and hopefully we'll be talking about an America game that failed all expectations come next week. But with that said, gentlemen, again, thank you so much for coming out and being wonderful co-hosts.
You're welcome, Ivan.
I just
Thank
hope I
you.
get paid today. I had to get
we're,
paid last week.
we're like Veracruz, which is they haven't paid us for like a month's salary now.
I haven't paid since I first started, so that's we'll talk about that after the show. But you know me, Ivan. Favorite time of the week.
Oh, favorite time of the week. All right, thank you to every single one of you guys. You guys make Tuesdays just that much more special for us. We'll be covering the game live for you guys come Thursday and Sunday. So make sure you guys stay tuned to our Twitter handle. We'll have everything covered for you guys there, and hopefully we have a lot of great things to discuss. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Let's hope for America to come out guns a blazing and punch their ticket into the final
To the
of the
final.
Clausura 2019
Mhm.
after such a long season ahead. I know I said we are going to talk Mexico preliminary Gold Cup roster. Unfortunately, the time does not allow for that. We will talk about that later. We will have a Gold Cup edition of the Eagle Eye podcast, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for a lot more stuff that we're going to be discussing. Again, thank you so much. I've wrapped up this long enough, and without further ado, have yourselves a wonderful night. See you guys on Thursday. See you guys Sunday, and back again on Tuesday. Until next time, take care, and as always, arriba la America.